and gentlemen, and welcome to ET Now's first edition of the IndiaMART Leaders of Tomorrow Awards. Please put your hands together for Mrigya.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us this evening on Leaders of Tomorrow Awards. We hope you enjoyed that lovely performance by Mrigya. Now, for those of you who are joining us this evening, let us tell you a little bit more about the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards. Now, these awards come at a time when India is at the cusp of racing ahead of China in terms of its growth trajectory. The contribution of the SME sector has played a key role in this story. However, the last 2 years have been a challenge, thanks in a large part to the global economic crisis, which has taken the wind out of the sails of many an SME. Thus, these awards are significant since they honor select companies who have succeeded thanks to their mix of innovation and enterprise. On this occasion, it gives us great pleasure in welcoming our chief guest, Mr. P. Chidambaram, Honorable Home Minister, Government of India, who has agreed to grace this occasion. We would also like to welcome the members of the awards jury, Mr. Shiv Nadar, Chairman of the jury, Founder and Chairman of HCL Technologies, and Chief Strategy Officer, Mr. Jagdish Khattar, Chairman at Carnation Auto.
Well, indeed, our jury members have had a very challenging task at hand. It's never easy to pick a single winner out of a select group of companies, many of whom have been fighters and survivors in this highly competitive and volatile global economy. World over, SMEs have played a very crucial role in global growth, and it's understandably so because 90% of all enterprises around the world are small and medium scale, and more importantly, 1 out of every 2 jobs come from this sector. In India, we get only about 6 out of every 100 jobs from this sector. So as you can see, the potential for growth here is enormous. Let's have a quick look at this film that tells us the story of the small and medium-scale sector.
Over a century ago, the writer Rudyard Kipling had said, "Oh, east is east and west is west, and never the twain shall meet." 100 years later, the world of business has proven Kipling wrong. Suddenly, the world is flatter, boundaries are dissolving, and rules of the game are changing faster than ever before. A huge driver of change is technology. Another is faster travel and plummeting transport costs. People move across national borders more and more frequently. The nature of jobs change. Trade and investment go global. As the hunger to grow gets intense, companies across the world look beyond their shores to newer markets. China, Brazil and India have become locomotives of world growth. In a time that increasingly looks like turning into the Asian century. As the world looks east, India follows close on the heels of China in ushering in a whole new wave of entrepreneurship where imagination and innovation are key. The economies of the West are slowing, dragged down by recession. But here in India, the economy surges at nearly 10% and micro, small and medium-sized companies continue to power this growth. These enterprises may be individually small, but together they pack a huge punch, contributing nearly 10% of India's economy, 45% to the manufactured output, and 40% to exports. And together, these 26 million micro, small and medium-sized enterprises provide jobs to almost 60 million people. And now, after the leader of the world's largest economy, US President Barack Obama came calling at the world's largest democracy in an effort to drum up business that will create jobs for American citizens.
Indian investment in America is among the fastest growing of any country.
Indian enterprise can say with great confidence, yes, we can. And so, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we celebrate the triumph of Indian businessmen and women who have beaten all odds stacked against them to come out on top. And it's just the time to ask, can they become the leaders of tomorrow? Yes, they can.
And indeed, it is that spirit, yes they can, as you heard from that short overview of the journey that the SME sector has taken, that we are celebrating this evening here at the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards. And we want to recognize the efforts of those involved in building our country's SME sector. Now let us take you through the journey that ET Now began in partnership with IndiaMART to discover the winners in this race.
It all started in the month of August 2010 by inviting entries from entrepreneurs across the country to nominate their companies across a plethora of categories. The response was overwhelming. As entries poured in, Nielsen Company, one of the world's most respected independent research agencies, sifted through thousands of high-quality entries. The best and the most promising enterprises among them were put up for final selection to an eminent jury, headed by the legendary Shiv Nadar, founder and chairman of HCL Technologies. He was supported by other eminent jury members, chairman of Avanta Group and turnaround expert, Gautam Thapar, vice chairman of Bajaj Group, the young and dynamic Kushagra Bajaj, managing director of Carnation and the legend in the automobile industry, Jagdish Khattar, and Secretary MSME Ministry, Government of India, Uday Kumar Verma. The best were then invited to meet the eminent panel of judges in person. After a grilling 8 hours of deliberations, the jury arrived at the final winners for each category. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you the hidden jewels of small and medium sector who are set to become the leaders of tomorrow. Brought to you by IndiaMART. IndiaMART.com. More buyers, more suppliers, more business. SMS more to 56677.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an incredible journey from start to finish, and the excitement builds up as we come closer and closer to the moment of reckoning. I would now like to invite our chief guest for this evening, the Honorable Home Minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram, to please come up on stage and deliver the keynote address, sir. Please may we have you.
Editors of ET Now, members of IndiaMART, the jury, my good friends Mr. Shiv Nadar, Mr. Jagdish Khattar, Secretary Mr. Uday Kumar Verma, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I accepted this invitation because it is an award for MSMEs. Without doubt, this is the sector that has the highest potential to create employment. And as I look forward to the new decade that will begin in a few days, beginning 2011 and going up to 2020. Well, I don't know what to call this decade. We can say 2030s, 2040s, but what do you say to a decade which begins in 2011 and ends in 2020? So I thought about it, and I suggest that we call it the 20-teens. We'll have 13, 14, 15, 16. So the 20-teens, this decade, must be devoted to employment. And I have many reasons why I want to emphasize job creation and employment. Not that our past policies supported jobless growth, but I'm afraid we must concede that our past policies, while they were intended to promote job-creating growth, not enough jobs were created. We therefore need to look at the kind of growth that will create jobs. And unless jobs are created, you will have in your hands not only major economic problems, you will also have a major social revolt on your hands. And unless jobs are created, all that we are putting into higher education, into new universities, into skill development, into human resource development, all that will be a colossal waste unless that generation of young men and women is found productive jobs. I think we should dedicate the next decade